That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's time for Cinema Savants.
The answer to what is happening to you is here.
Your weekly source for movie news.
I'm Groot.
Movie reviews.
Oh my god, the quarterback is toast!
And the occasional Hollywood rumor.
Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. I can tell Hulk gives it away.
Hosted by Todd Vandenberg.
I think with your IQ, you're unarmed and still very dangerous.
And Rob Steele.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All aboard, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Cinema Savants, your weekly dose of everything movie, because that's what we do. He's Todd Vandenberg, and I'm never going to watch the Emoji Movie. Wow. Trailer for that came out this week, and it terrifies me. Similar to the Alien movie, which is supposed to terrify audiences everywhere. Todd saw it, and we will be talking about that soon, along with the potential flowchart for how to survive one of those movies. But we're going to go straight into movie news because, holy crap, there's a lot of it this week in a segment we're calling The Good, the Bad, and the Whatever. See, we're celebrating. There's so much news this week. I'm leading off the good news with something that some people are going to consider bad news, and they're just going to have to get over the fact that I like it. It was released this week, information about the War of the Planet of the Apes. And they said that, this is the third in the trilogy, starting with Rise in 2011 and Dawn in 2014. Now it's War in 2017, and that's going to be it. And that's my good news. That's going to be it. It's just a trilogy. That's all there is. There is no more. Ha 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 ha.
You know they're lying.
Didn't do it. I know.
You know they're lying. But there's no way in hell they're stopping. Yeah.
Please stop.
I agree with you. That would be awesome because they do nothing for me, and they're obviously popular. But I saw the latest trailer, and it's like, the apes are looking better, but they still don't look as good as the movie from the 60s. You got issues, guys.
No.
You got issues.
Hello. Prosthetics work better than CG in these cases. So there.
Yep.
Let's see. Other good news this week, and I loved this. I think this is going to be awesome. Netflix is teaming up with the Jim Henson Studios to create a Dark Crystal prequel series. Which, I liked it because Dark Crystal was actually a really cool movie that Henson did back in, what was it, 82. And he said it was one of his favorite things he did, even over Sesame Street, which Sesame Street is awesome too. But Dark Crystal was a great movie.
It was, and it is. And yeah, that's amazing, awesome, wonderful news.
They're calling it Age of Resistance. There's no date attached to it yet, which is that's the only disappointing thing about this news is when. I want to know when. But it's in production, so that's okay. Other good news this week. There is finally an actual trailer for Star Trek Discovery, which I thought it looked really good. Have you seen this yet?
I have seen it. And I like what I see.
I like what I see too, but there's a complaint.
Uh-oh, here we go.
It's not that it looks like it's in the Kelvin universe, which is, for those of you who are not up on your Trek, that's the new series of movies. Since it's a spin-off universe, they're calling it the Kelvin universe. Whatever. That's not the issue. I don't care if it's either, as long as they're making more Star Trek. The issue is, and there are protests because of it, there are not enough white men in the trailer.
What?
Are you kidding me?
What? Are you serious? I haven't heard about this.
That's the complaint.
I hadn't heard about that. And my reaction was, Michelle Yeoh. It's like, To me, that's the best thing about this. There's not enough white men. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's...
Because virtually every other form of entertainment isn't just glutted with white men. So how dare you have something...
One of the tweets that is getting the most, and it should, quote, that Chinese lady is miscast. No, she's not.
What?
Yeah, that was one of the big things. And don't worry, this guy's been roasted on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure. I have to. Wow. Now, see, this is the true value of entertainment, because it makes you think about life. It makes you think about values. At its best, it doesn't just give you a reason to stuff your face with popcorn. So it revealed. It won't reveal to this guy because he's a fool and he'll never learn, because unless he's, well, it doesn't matter what age he is. If he's 3 or 33, it's like wow. What possibly,
I don't know,
is in your makeup to think that a person who is A, Chinese, B, a lady with lady bits would be miscast because she is in a role of command? What screwed up, god-awful cesspool of a corner of not civilized life do you live in? Holy crap, dude.
I'm looking at this list of tweets that have come through, like, nice job on political correctness ruining Star Trek. Did you watch the original series and just get nothing out of it?
Obviously, they got nothing out of it.
I'm going to leave it here, and you can look it up if you want to. I think this is quite possibly the least intelligent thing I have read on the internet in a long, long time. Too much diversity in Star Trek, man. Bite me. That's what Star Trek is about.
Yeah, that's one of the core values of Star Trek, and always has been since 1967. Wow.
So there.
Thank you. I mean, what a pack of morons. I guess they missed the fact that the helmsman was Japanese and the communications officer had a little bit darker skin and a little bit different parts than a white man.
And considerably larger breasts than Spock.
Yes, who, of course, wasn't even a freaking human.
Nope.
Oh,
nope. Well, they wanted to get rid of Spock originally. He looks like Satan. No, he doesn't. He looks like Legolas. Shut up.
And of course, in the original pilot, the executive officer was a woman. So, yeah.
Yep.
Jesus. Oh, wow. Amazing.
It's coming out anyway. These people will have to get over it.
Yeah, what a pleasant world. Okay.
Other things that are coming, and speaking of not enough white guys. Oh, dear. I think this is good news. There's a trailer for Black Lightning, which is the newest DC comic adaptation by the CW network. It looks very Luke Cage-ish to me. And I know there are going to be people... Yeah, that's a good thing. Luke Cage was a great series. And people are going to bash this. Oh, there's too many black people in Black Lightning. Okay, did you look at the title? Hello.
Probably.
There's too many black people in Roots. What the hell? So the big flaw that I'm catching out of it right now is that they claim it's not in the Arrowverse. Really? It's a DC comic series. It's on the CW network. Folks, it's going to at least end up in the same universe as Arrow and Flash and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Because originally when they released it, they said it was going to be. And that's when I had the flaw that Black Lightning apparently is a superhero that retired in 2005, but then came back this year because everything has gone to hell since then. My problem was, if he retired in 2005, but in the Arrowverse, there were no superheroes until Barry was created as the Flash in 2014. Hang on a minute, what? But it's a separate universe. That's their excuse. And I think that came in after they wrote everything and went, oh, whoops, we missed this part. Well, we'll just put it over here.
We forgot. And, of course, the way they play with timelines, they can fix it, and I'm sure they will down the road. But the reason I'm not all that pumped about it is because I honestly don't care a lot for any of the CW universe shows. I mean, they're okay, but compared to everything except Iron Fist, they compared to the Marvel series on Netflix, they frankly suck. So I have limited time, and I'm in comparison to the Netflix things. Compared to Iron Fist, yeah, they're good because Iron Fist wasn't very good. But overall, nah, I don't have enough time to watch something that's just okay.
Well, speaking of the CW network and crossovers, now we're going to cross over into the bad news.
Uh-oh.
I suppose there's partial good news in this if you're a fan of the series Supernatural, because there is going to be a 13th season of the show that I thought had been canceled like 5 years ago and then 4 years ago, and that keeps coming back because it's Supernatural apparently. This year there's going to be, and this terrifies me, an animated episode of Supernatural that crosses over with Scooby-Doo. I'd like to be making that up.
Yeah.
And just to make it a little bit worse, because this makes no sense to me, it's just Scooby-Doo. The gang, Shaggy's, Scooby and Fred and Daphne and Velma, not there. Just Scooby. Which makes no sense. I don't understand what the point of even doing that would be.
That makes no sense. Is right.
So, and the rest of, well, I'm not going to say the rest of the good news or rest of the bad news makes no sense, but a lot of it doesn't make any sense, including a guy named Daniel Casey, who wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane, because we know that was such a spectacular blockbuster movie. He's rewriting the 1996 teenage supernatural thriller, The Craft. No, don't do that. I liked The Craft. The Craft was a good movie. Leave it alone.
So I'm guessing the new version of The Craft will be one movie, and then with about 25 minutes left, it'll be a completely different film, which will turn into something that was a bigger hit. I like the idea. Not at all. Yeah, that's just really. You went to the screenwriter for like the most schizophrenic screenplay in the past 5 years. That doesn't make a lot of sense, and that includes Split. That's kind of a bad joke.
That's
anyway.
a hint. Speaking of other things that are getting remade and or sequels, folks, brace yourself. There's going to be a sequel to Mamma Mia coming out next year. With a vast majority of the original cast. This is one of the movies that has already been considered one of the worst movies of all time. Despite the cast had Meryl Streep, Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Julie Waters, Stellan Skarsgård, and Dominic Cooper, which you'd think would make a great movie, but it ended up making a crap movie that still made a ton of money. So let's make a sequel to it. No. Please do not do that. But it's too late. They're doing it. With more ABBA songs than they had in the first one. So...
Are there more ABBA songs than were in the first one?
I didn't watch the first one because I just kind of went, no.
That's kind of scary that there are more ABBA songs because there shouldn't be many ABBA songs.
Did you say scary? You said scary.
I said scary.
That leads into the story about horror legend George A. Romero is planning a movie called Road of the Dead, which crosses two very popular things right now. Zombies, I'm trying to get this out with a straight face, and NASCAR. That's right, folks. A zombie NASCAR movie. I would never have put those two together. That just he's said to have drawn inspiration from the 1959 classic Ben-Hur. Why would you? No, don't. Stop. Please. That's... Ew.
So moving Jesus is in the apocalypse? The zombie apocalypse? Okay.
Well,
I don't quite see how that works.
But rose again, therefore he is a zombie.
Ew.
No.
Ooh.
For those of you just getting out of church on Sunday, moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
To the new trailer for the X-Men TV show. I'm putting this in the bad news because, I'm sorry, it's not the X-Men TV show. It's called Gifted, which is BS. It's the X-Men TV show. Right. Now, I wanted to ask you this. Have you seen it? The trailer that came out?
For Gifted, I have not seen the trailer for Gifted, no. Okay,
well, I'll save you some trouble. If you remember when Marvel Comics decided in, I guess it was 86, to create a separate universe with all new heroes and just start over, they created a series called DP7, which Displaced Paranormals, which, I'm sorry, that's what this is. It's not X-Men, it's DP7, finally getting a TV series, and for some reason they put Polaris in it, who was one of the X-Men, briefly. It just looks ungood. I'm not going to say bad yet. I'm sure they'll make it look bad later, but it looks ungood.
I like that. It looks ungood.
Speaking of ungood, to go with the undead NASCAR movie, ungood, they had some casting news from the Venom set this week, because they're making a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
Yes, they are.
Which makes no sense. It's kind of like, they're making a Wizard of Oz movie without the Scarecrow and the Lion. What? Tom Hardy has been cast as Venom. And all I can think of is that he was the guy who played Bane in The Dark Knight Returns, or whatever that not good Batman movie was called. And no one could understand him because they put something over his face. Well, that's spectacular. Now they have something completely covering his face. We're never going to understand anything he says.
It'll be CGI. I love Tom Hardy, and I'm hopeful that, of course, we haven't seen the latest Sony Spider-Man thing, so we don't know how much Marvel's influence. The trailers look awesome, but it's not like we haven't seen trailers that looked awesome and then the movie was crap. So we don't know yet if Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be good, great, whatever. Hopefully great, not whatever. Hopefully we're not talking about it, in a couple months and it goes in that category. The whole thing about a separate Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man is on the weird side, like really, really weird. That being said, I do like the idea of Tom Hardy playing Venom. I mean, I think that's awesome because he can definitely – depends how they play it. If he just starts out and he's Venom, it's like, well, okay, that's a waste. But, and who knows what version – I don't know if he's going to be Eddie Brock or what version he's going to be. You would hope he'd be Eddie Brock. But that would be interesting because he can play that character, and hopefully there's a decent amount of setup where they make the character interesting and compelling and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, the whole – concept of no Spider-Man but Spider-Man characters is bizarre.
I don't get that.
No, I don't either.
Oh. Weird news from the Paul W.S. Anderson front.
Is there any other kind?
I don't know. Do you remember the movie Event Horizon?
Yes, I do. I like that movie.
Exactly. A lot of people ended up they say this is the best of the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. There was going to be a director's cut.
Interesting. I can see that.
Unfortunately, they lost it. As in, honey, I put it over here on the table. Where did it go? Honey, the dog ate it. It's gone. Just poof. No one knows where it is. Oh dear. All gone. So if you were waiting for this, how? It's under the couch? I don't know.
Huh.
That's the way this story went. It's been reported by multiple people because he even put it on Facebook during a live event that said there was going to be a director's cut, but I can't seem to find it right now.
I mean, of course, this is back before they did things digitally, so there wouldn't be 20 million copies of it. But why
film?
How do you do that? How do you lose a movie that was filmed in the 90s?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he's done some bad movies, obviously, but he's done some fun movies. The first Mortal Kombat is a fun movie. I mean, it's goofy, but it's fun. Soldier, I think, is extremely underrated. Soldier is an awesome, awesome movie. One of Kurt Russell's best performances. I mean, seriously. I mean, I love that movie. And I think I'm one of 5 people. Kurt Russell probably doesn't even like the movie, but I think it's a great movie. And he's done a bunch of crap, too. But regardless, what? How do you... It's not 1898 that this damn movie was... Or 1897 that they made it. It's like, what the hell? I guess it shows the studio didn't think much of it, did they?
I guess apparently not.
Good Lord.
The last of the completely bad news this week comes from the Flash movie. Now, we haven't actually seen much of the Flash except in the scene from the extended version of Suicide Squad. But there's supposed to be a Flash movie coming with, directed either by Robert Zemeckis, Matthew Vaughn, or Sam Raimi. Until the article came out this week that said none of those are involved. And Billy Crudup, whatever the hell his name is, the guy who plays Barry Allen's dad in the Justice League trailer, he's decided he's not going to do it. Oh, wait, yes, he is. No, he's not. There have been 5 articles on it this week. 3 say he's not doing it. 2 say, no, wait, he's back. Folks, just at this point, just make it and be done with it. Seriously.
This film has had more issues. I mean, my God. They're going through directors.
Ego doesn't make this many waffles.
No. Event Horizon has had more alternate cuts, which is 0, than they currently have directors. Which, by the way, Event Horizon made $26 million lifetime, which is $10 million less than Alien Covenant did this weekend. Probably one reason why they didn't have a lot of loving care for the movie. So, regardless, that's amazingly stupid. That all the old stuff is gone. And to be sure, we're not talking about the print is gone. We're talking about the other cuts, the other material that was cut. But still, why would you just toss that? That's insane.
So, into the whatever category, because I'm not sure what to make of this. There was a trailer that came out this week for something called The Orville.
I have no idea what to make of it either. I'm hoping it's just an elaborate prank, but...
I'm hoping it is, too. If you haven't seen it, it's Seth MacFarlane created a... Well, it's not really a Star Trek rip. It's a Galaxy Quest The Next Generation. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Right.
It's supposed to be
very well put.
Series on Fox this fall. Fox is the same channel that couldn't bother to give us a full season of Firefly. No, can't do that. But Seth MacFarlane, yes, we'll give him a live-action Galaxy Quest TV. No. Part of it looks good, and part of it makes me go, boy, I hope you don't make this. Maybe it is a joke. I couldn't really tell if it was a joke either or not. So what did you think of The Orville?
I desperately hope. Well, I honestly don't care if it's a joke or not because I'm not going to watch it. So
I'm not either.
It's kind of immaterial. Here's article leads. It's like Star Trek spoof might be his best show yet. Blah blah blah. I mean, obviously they're giving him an open account because Family Guy, they make a crap load of money, but at the same time, MacFarlane, it's not like he's infallible. I mean, he's done...
What was that Western movie he did?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find because the name escapes me and for good reason. Because
was it like A Million Ways to Die in the West or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was a huge bomb, A Million Ways to Die in the West. And Ted did well. Ted 2, not so much. I mean, at times he's funny, but...
There's a lot of times where you kind of go, oh, really? No, don't do that.
I mean, I will give him credit. Apparently, he was a writer for both Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Bravo. So that's, to me, that's his best work, depending on which episodes those were. There were just a few episodes of each. But, good Lord.
The only episode of Johnny Bravo I liked was the one where they crossed over, here we go, we're bringing this back up, with Scooby-Doo.
My problem with Seth MacFarlane is he thinks he's much funnier than he is. And that really shows up in interviews. And it's like, no, dude. Let other people tell you if you're funny. You don't proclaim how brilliant you are, because that just doesn't work. And especially when you're not. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I really hope that's. I don't care, but it's just weird.
Other TV news, something that is probably going to end up being in the bad category, because I actually liked the concept of the Inhumans in the comics. I thought that was a really good idea. And there were some great characters in it. And now that the TV show is coming out, they've given it a time slot. Friday night at 9. Can you pick a worse time slot on ABC? On NBC and CBS, I can pick worse time slots. But Friday night at 9 is not a good time slot for any TV show.
No,
because that's the night it isn't. Go out.
Although their justification, they said they've scrapped the comedy bit. That used to be their comedy block, and of course it was getting killed because that's the night people go out, like you said. And they figured, okay, we'll change it up, and we'll go with Inhumans, and then we'll follow that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But as they said, it matters less and less and less when something is live first. So
that is true.
Maybe
on demand.
They're actually thinking of that because people go have their DVRs going all the time, or they buy episodes, which is why you would buy episodes instead of just anyway. So hopefully that's what they're thinking, rather than we have very little faith in this, so we're just going to throw it into the graveyard, because that's what I got out of it too. It's like, wow, that's not a lot of confidence to throw it on a Friday night, but. Yeah, the thing, and we talked about it before, but the thing that really worries me is that, again, we were talking about posters, but the thing that really worries me is the poster of Medusa with her hair just hanging there. Yeah, I mean, if you can't do the special effects to make Medusa's hair correct for a still photo, and they admit that they are having problems.
Doesn't bode well
with the CGI. I have a feeling Medusa is going to have different powers. Because, honestly, it would be hard to do that and make it look good with a Marvel Studios budget at the movie theater with your $200 million budget. On a TV show budget, making hair that's basically prehensile and make it look like hair.
She's going to wear a hat.
Yeah, I mean, that would be it. She'll wear a hat. She'll have a crew cut, and that was just a wig. I mean, you think of the movie Brave, and the hair looked good in Brave, but there's still. I mean, that was one thing that was odd. I mean, that's technologically pretty cool. The hair looks so good because hair is so difficult to animate and make it look like hair. And these are movies that cost $150 million. And regardless of how big their budget is, it's still a TV show. They're not going to spend half their budget to make her hair look right and work right.
No.
And that's a shame because it's such a weird power, but in the comics it works really well. It's cool. And it's just kind of like, But if they can't get it right, I would rather they just scrap it and give her some different skill set entirely, which would suck. But that would suck less than going, geez, did they just take pictures of Photoshop and... Is it stop motion? I mean, this is awful. So,
now, I have two different directions. We are at a fork in the road, which is the kind of thing that they have on Black Bolt's mask. Do we want to stick with superhero news or stick with ABC TV news? So I can go either way.
Let's go back. And let's go. Yeah, we'll go back to superhero news. Let's stick with ABC
superhero
TV.
News. The 1966 Spider-Man cartoon theme song will be making an appearance in the forthcoming Spider-Man Homecoming movie. Do you care in the slightest?
I think it's cute, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the credits because I want to hear it. I've already heard it. It's on YouTube. I don't need to see it in the movie, so I don't really care.
I have the 1966 cartoon series on DVD. I can listen to it whenever I damn well please.
Yeah.
So it is TV News.
It's a fun theme song, but yeah.
It is. It's cute, and yet I don't care enough. Another thing I don't care enough about, Roseanne is getting a full cast reunion series on ABC this fall. I can't bring myself to care. Can you?
Is it going to be on Friday night? It's like, if you're going to put anything on Friday night, put that on Friday night. I could care less. I don't really care for the show much to begin with. I
didn't either.
When the lead character of the show is obnoxious, it's kind of hard for me to watch it a lot. There's enough obnoxious people in real life. And that doesn't always hold true for everything. But, it's like, no, I don't need to watch her. I don't like the character. And again, I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about the actress.
Right. I'm not sure what to make out of this either. They're remaking Charlie Chaplin's The Kid as an animated sci-fi movie.
Why not?
The theory is that he's not going to be finding an abandoned kid. He's going to be building a robot.
Of course it's going to be a robot because they've already done that with the movie Steel, which was basically the kid or the champ. And I mean, it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, they did The Kid. Oh, gosh. When did they do that? In the 70s or something?
I think so.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fine. Wonderful. I don't care. It's not going to have Charlie Chaplin in it, obviously. So, although,
well, they could be CGing him.
They could CG him. Although what they could do is they could have Robert Downey Jr. play him again. That would be fun. I would go see it then.
I see if they think that, but it's animated, so they're not.
He could do the voice.
I thought it was a silent movie. Wasn't it a silent movie?
Very good, sir.
I did catch on correctly. Yay for me. Now, the Mummy movie that's forthcoming, I think we've heard that they're going to be including or having a crossover with other monster movies.
Right.
And they're talking about the new take on Frankenstein, where Javier Bardem, who is the bad guy in the forthcoming Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I think he was the bad guy in the last Bond movie. But they're talking about having him play the Frankenstein monster.
He was the bad guy in Skyfall. Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm sorry,
he's an awesome actor. Yeah, Spectre was the last one, but still.
Yeah. What do you think about Javier Bardem as the monster?
I love it. He's an awesome actor. Depends what they're going to. I hope. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between making him the classic movie monster, where he's just this brute thing, although in the first couple of films, he did have a little flicker of intelligence, which actually made him a sad, pathetic character, and later on he just was this completely mindless thing. Or if they're going to go with the book version, where he's as smart as his creator, and he's a much more sympathetic / pathetic character because he realizes he's a monster externally, and he hates it, and he hates his creator for having created him, which is also a really interesting take. I would like to see something kind of maybe in between those two. I'm kind of terrified they're just going to screw it up because
that's what they do.
Yeah, because that's what they do. And of course, we haven't seen The Mummy. And like I said last week, I'm very happy to see that they have acknowledged that it is based on a horror film, and there are a lot of horror elements. And the director even is talking about, hey, this is a horror movie, because the first 3 maybe trailers didn't have a single scary thing in them. And it's like, you guys remember this is supposed to be horror, right? And well, now the clips show a lot of potentially scary things. So
thing was creepy.
Yeah, the eyes are creepy. The eyes are creepy.
But that's creepy, not scary.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been done before. So it's not like, oh, wow, I've never seen that. It's like, yeah, I've seen that about 3 times. Yeah, but there are genuine scenes that look like, wow, this is going to be really scary. That's cool. And I hope it's really good. Why would you hope a movie sucks? That doesn't make any sense. So I hope it's really good. But Javier as the monster, I think that's great because at least it shows that they're planning to do some depth with the character because otherwise they could just have John Cena play the monster, right? So
I thought John Cena was the monster. I mean, yeah, yes, true. It looks that way. Want to get your opinion on this too, because this is not in the whatever news. This is in the really news.
Really?
A recently released Japanese leaflet is promoting the upcoming Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and the first line of it, if you translate it correctly, says, the most shocking truth in Star Wars history will soon be revealed. I'm sorry, apart from the Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
All I can come up with is Luke Skywalker is really Snoak, the leader of the First Order, which, no, I doubt that.
That's exactly what I thought. That's the only thing that could be more shocking than Vader, is that Luke has turned to the dark side. Other than that, and it's probably, it's something kind of interesting, but basically kind of lame. That,
Leia is really Luke's mother. What? No.
That would be like an Alabama kind of thing. And that's exactly what I thought of, is Luke is the real leader of the First Order.
That's the first place I went.
What would be more shocking? I think it's just thrown out there to, just to make it like, ooh, this is really amped up. Wow, look how awesome this is going to be. You'll have to go see it. As if people are not going to go see it because they're afraid there's not some huge reveal. It would fit. It would fit with the extremely dark tone of the second film of the trilogy, because that's how it should run. And that would be pretty freaking dark, all right. But either that or Kylo reanimates somehow Darth Vader and Darth Vader is back. That would be...
Or how's this? The reveal is really going to be the person who created this poster for the movie is actually the one who wrote the script, which means it's all screwed. We were talking about this before the show. And Todd told me this was real. I thought it was a fan-made poster, but he said he saw it in a theater. With I've forgotten her name already. Rey holding a lightsaber, dividing the poster in half, with Luke on the left side of the lightsaber and a very small Kylo Ren on the other side. I remembered his name. I can't remember Rey's name. Anyway, on the right side, if you're OCD, don't look at this.
No.
I'm OCD, and it's not liking me very much. Twitch.
Yeah, it's the classic, which has been used so many times. I mean, there have probably been 500 movie posters like this, where it's like, oh, this character is on this side, and that character is on that side, so you split the faces. But unlike every other poster, Kylo is like half the size of Luke's face, so they don't line up correctly. And just like Rob said, we were talking about it in pre-bro, and I get the meta aspect of it is that, okay, well, see, the Force is out of balance, because see how the poster is out of balance? Well, the problem is it's jarring, and even if you don't have OCD, it just doesn't work. It looks stupid. It's out of the poster itself. And
the version with John Travolta and Nick Cage.
Yeah, I saw it hanging in a movie theater last night. So this is one of their official posters, and hopefully they go to something different, because it's stupid. It looks bad.
It's horrible.
They're also telling you that Kylo Ren is half as important as Luke in the film. I mean, if that's the case, I get it, because frankly, and not talking about, it's always hard to separate the actor from the performance. But as Kylo Ren was written and performed, it's a miserable, useless, crappy character. He's whiny, and he gets his ass kicked by someone who just learned that there is a Force, let alone how to use it. Like, how is this person the big bad? I mean, comparing it to Darth Vader, and I understand that's part of the point. And he's growing into the big villain, but you made him look like an utter twit.
Yes.
Who's afraid of the big bad Kylo? It's like nobody. He sucks. And so now you minimize him again in a poster? What the hell are you thinking? He's not threatening in the least. And, of course, he's not even wearing his mask, which, you know, if Darth Vader had been running around without the awesome helmet for the entire series, and then at the big reveal he looks like Grandpa Vader, you know, at the end.
He looks like
not a scary dude. So
no.
That's a fail on so many levels. And like I said, I hope it's supposed to be this overarching meta statement. Look, everything is unbalanced. See, this is what we're really doing. But it just doesn't freaking work because it's awful design. It sucks. Get a new poster.
You mentioned in there separating the character from the actor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that with this trailer I saw this week. For a movie that I know that you and our friend Lee are going to be interested in. It's a movie called Borg McEnroe. For those of you who don't know, it's about John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg, who were massive tennis rivals back in, 1980 or something.
I thought McEnroe was about to be assimilated. It would be fun, too.
Well, you'd think. That's Star Trek. No, it's not. Thus going to that line in, which movie? What? First Contact. Borg sounds Swedish. In this movie, it is. McEnroe is being played by Shia LaBeouf.
Ugh. That makes me ill.
No, that's the thing. I'm trying to separate the character from the actor because in this picture, I have never seen McEnroe look as drunk as he does in this promotional picture for the movie. I saw the trailer. It makes it look like it might be in the same vein as like 61 or 42 or any of those other numerically valued baseball movies, which were good if you like the thing to begin with. If you're not a baseball fan, 61's not going to do anything for you.
Right.
If you don't like tennis, I suspect Borg McEnroe not going to do a thing for you.
Right, exactly.
But I just saw this trailer and went, damn, McEnroe looks drunk.
I mean,
because I can't separate the character from the actor in this picture.
Skarsgård, as Borg is awesome, but
it is.
Shia, the Beef, man, he is one of my least favorite actors ever. I mean, he is, and again, it depends on the direction, obviously, right? But he basically has one setting, and it's whiny. It's like,
well, and again, he's playing John McEnroe, who seems to have one setting, which is angry, whiny.
Angry, whiny, right, which I don't know if he can convey angry, whiny. I don't know if LaBeouf can do that.
We'll find out. The movie comes out.
We'll find out.
Late in September.
That's upsetting to me.
There's no U.S. date set for the movie yet, so
I can just watch old
September
matches.
In Norway, Sweden, and the U.K., and Germany in October. But anyway, saw that. Thought I'd pass it along. Other trailer I saw this week was this is when we get into the we watch movies so you don't have to segment of the show. I saw the full-blown trailer for the Emoji Movie, and if you happen to see it, don't watch it. Don't watch anything related to it. We've mentioned a few things during this show that we said, don't watch this, it looks bad. Don't watch the Emoji trailer, it looks worse. It's just don't. I don't know why this movie was made. I don't know how. I cannot convey with words just how horrible this concept is.
I agree. It just is yuck. It is yuck.
So moving on to a movie you watched this week, And I wanted to bring this up last week because my wife brought up a very good point. Because we watched the original Alien and then Aliens, because they can't put a 2 on it because that's... Basically, the Alien movies seem to have roughly the same premise in all of them, in that you have the characters put in a place that they can't really get out of. You insert an alien, it kills everybody, and you go to the sequel. That seems to be, they're all pretty much the same movies. And now you said you saw Alien Covenant, which took over the top spot in the box office from Guardians of the Galaxy this week.
It did indeed.
How is the new Alien Covenant?
As is projected, which it still may not quite make it. As I said before we started actually doing the show, I liked it better than Prometheus. Prometheus is interesting, but Prometheus goes into the category of interesting failures for me. Interesting concepts, the execution wasn't quite right. Alien Covenant, right. I mean, I liked it better, and there are some things that really, really worked well, but for instance,
I can't help you with this part.
Yeah, I know. There are throwbacks. There are throwbacks to certain set pieces, to certain things that happen in both Aliens and Alien, and they're callbacks to that. It's like, oh, look, we're referencing that bit, and it kind of works, but it's also too obviously. Oh, look, we're kind of mimicking the thing with the loader robot, and oh, look, we're mimicking the. It's too transparent, and it just kind of reminds you you're watching a movie. To me, for one thing, there is so much exposition in this movie. My God. I mean, it's a sequel to one of the best horror films ever and a sequel to one of the best action films ever. And it takes them literally an hour to do something scary or action-packed. An hour out of a 2-hour film. And it's interesting, it's cool, but it's also, why did it take you this long to get going in this film? I don't understand the reasoning behind that. I mean, this is, again, the part that's a sequel to Prometheus, which is extremely freaking talky.
Yes.
And it's okay. I mean, I like interesting, deep films that have something to say, but you can say it in less than an hour, can't you? Because if you can't, something has gone critically wrong. I mean, Michael Fassbender is by far the best part of the film. Easily, hands down. It almost would have been better if they had just made a 2-hour version of the first hour of it, and it's basically him just talking. Because when they finally get to the action, it's just paint by numbers. Oh, okay, well, just like you said, this person's got to die, this person's got to die, this person's got to die. There's a shower scene with 2 attractive side characters, which have virtually no... You know they're going to die because, well, for one, they're naked in a shower together, and 2, they've done zero character development. I mean, you kind of know what jobs they have, but other than that, they're cannon fodder. It's like there's no suspense. You know they're going to die. So what? One of the weird things too is, and this is hardly a spoiler because, like Rob said, if you don't figure out that a lot of people are going to die in an Alien movie, why the hell are you going to this movie? You've heard of the concept at all?
Hello.
The alien leaves their bodies. Why does it leave their bodies? It never left bodies before. And they just for the shock value, so you can see these bloody bodies. It's like, and this is the same form. This is the same form that is in the Alien and Aliens. They go through some other forms, and that part's interesting because it turns out that someone is kind of designing the aliens after all. And I'm not going to give that away. But the big bad that you get at the end is the classic alien from the first 2 movies. But it doesn't act the same. So that's kind of weird. I don't think it's an interesting failure. It's better than that, but it really missed the boat. Because it's nowhere near as good as Alien. It's not nearly as scary as Alien because you pretty much know what's going to happen.
Right.
And it's not nearly as action-packed as Aliens. So it's this odd hybrid like a lot of the Aliens earlier in the film, and it just doesn't quite work to me. And here's one reason why I said it remains to be seen if it's actually going to pass Guardians. Because, and it's projected, and it probably will, did $15 million on Friday. Box office dropped 21% on Saturday from the open. It's kind of a big drop off.
On an open,
for example,
yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 dropped 8% on Saturday, so it's normal to drop. But it's not normal to lose a fifth of your business. That kind of sounds like word of mouth got out. And it's going to drop another 28% on Sunday. It's going to drop more than a quarter on Sunday. Guardians of the Galaxy dropped about 20%. So it's normal to drop from Friday to Saturday, Sunday. It's not normal for a big hit to drop that much. I have a feeling that this is going to wind up doing okay money, but only okay money. And it only deserves to do okay money because Alien is a great movie. Aliens is a great movie. They do exactly what they're designed to do. Whether you like that kind of movie or not, it's immaterial. They do what they're supposed to do. Alien Covenant doesn't. It's good to okay, but that's it. I mean, it's in some respects, Alien 3 worked better than Alien Covenant does.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. And for one thing, the reason Alien 3 worked well is because Sigourney Weaver is in Alien 3. And she's great in the movie. She's great in virtually everything, but it's a great character. Fassbender, as the android, he's a very cool character. He's very interesting. But
he's not Sigourney Weaver.
He's not Sigourney Weaver, and he's an android. You're not supposed to sympathize with him. So there's only one lead, and they don't do enough time to develop her character. She's the Ripley stand-in, and it's just not there. So it's again, it's disappointing. It's okay. It's worth watching if you like the Alien films, but go into it with the understanding that, well, at least it's better than the fourth Alien movie, or it's better than Alien versus Predator 2, whatever that one was, or it's better than Prometheus. But if you think you're going to get something worthy of Alien and Aliens, you're going to be very sad. So don't go in with those expectations. It's gotten good reviews, but frankly, I think most of those reviewers are wrong. It's just okay, and that's sad.
You mentioned
especially when they're talking that they're going to make so many more movies in this, and it's like it's just a factory at this point. It's like you're not trying to make anything good. If you are, you've forgotten how to. Mr. Scott.
You mentioned going into it. If you like the Alien movies, you'll probably like this. Something I saw this week, which was along the same notes. You remember the video game Street Fighter?
Oh yeah. I probably still have it on my PS3.
The Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Don't watch that. It's not good for you. There was, however, an online TV miniseries called Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, which was somewhat recently released on DVD. And I watched that because I was a fan of the Street Fighter video game. I was never very good at it. But this movie goes into the origins of the characters Ken and Ryu and throws in the character Akuma, who is in the later Street Fighter games, and gives you a very good origin story for these characters from the game. So I enjoyed watching it, but I can see other people who have no interest in Street Fighter watching this and going, I don't like it because it's not their it's not a good movie, but it's a good niche movie. Is that
gotcha.
kind of...
Yeah.
I'm thinking that may be where Alien is lying, in the niche movie category.
Yeah. it's not going to earn a single new fan. No one is going to will see this movie and think, oh, I got to watch the. Well, though, actually, if you've not seen Alien or Aliens, why the hell are you going to see this movie? Just watch those movies. They're much better. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of people would disagree, and they'll like the heck out of it because there's some action in there. There are some scares, and again, Fassbender is awesome in this movie, and by far has the best character development, which is kind of odd because he's an android. But and you know he's an android from the start. It's not like the cool reveal. And that's one of the difficulties they're working against. Is that's why Alien was so cool, because no one had seen anything done this well before. I mean, the monster on the spaceship that's old. That's a very old concept. But it was done so much better. And the big reveal of, okay, man, if you don't know that he's an android, I'm sorry, forget it. I just spoiled it for you. But that's very different. And then Aliens just turns it on its head and takes, instead of doing a horror sequel, they do an action film, which has scary parts. And that was brilliant with Cameron, not to try to redo something that had been done, just take it in a different direction. And this just kind of tries to do a hybrid of it, and kind of forgot that you have to care about the characters. Because if you don't care about the characters and they die, okay. And that's pretty much what when it finally gets going. Oh, and by the way, two more things that bother me about this movie. That really bothered me about this movie. Casting, there's a few issues I have with the casting. Danny McBride is one of the semi-major characters, which to me, anybody could have played the character, but the whole time I'm just waiting for him to do some goofy riff from his HBO show. So it just didn't work for me. And again, could be in the minority. But he makes some decisions in the film that Mother, which of course is the ship's computer, tells him not to do. And his crew members absolutely agree with Mother. It's like, no, that's a bad idea. We got to worry about the safety of 2,500 colonists as opposed to the safety of 5 people down on the planet. And he decides to override Mother, and he needs help. And then all of a sudden they said, yeah, okay, we're good. Like, well, you people have a lot of conviction, don't you? You just got through saying, no, we're not going to endanger the 2,500 lives. And then all of a sudden, because the plot needed it, yeah, we're good. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, what? Mm-hmm. Figure out a different way to do it. Again, lazy frickin' writing. Jesus, I frickin' hate that. And even in things that are supposed to have smart people, because they should be smart because they're flying spaceships. It's like, damn it. Just develop characters to some tiny extent and hold them to it. Don't just change everything what they had just agreed to because, well, that's how we're going to get this ship down on the planet. Why did you bring it up to begin with? It's stupid, and it pulls you out of the movie, and it makes you pissed off. Makes me pissed off. So there are things like that in the movie that's just, there's nothing like that in Alien. There's nothing like that in Aliens. There are people who make bad decisions in Aliens, God knows, but they're morons because they establish that from the start. They don't suddenly turn stupid. So, Ridley Scott, dude, yeah, just stop making these friggin' movies, okay? Because Prometheus didn't work, and Alien Covenant is okay, but it should have been great. I mean, if your name was on it, it should have been great, which really makes me worried about Blade Runner. Really worried.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ta-da! I think we have probably come to an end of an episode.
On such a downbeat note.
I say that. I'm just looking at a clock. What do I know?
Let's end it on a better note.
On a better note? We can do that.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, going back to Blade Runner 2049, at least Scott's not the director, so, there's hope. We were talking in pre-pro that there is word that Warner Brothers Animation, which is consistently awesome and brilliant, is planning, discussing, working on an R-rated animated adaptation of Watchmen. And this was leaked out onto the internet because they have like an in-house thing where they just ask people, hey, what do you think? And you're supposed to sign an agreement that says, well, I'm not going to talk about it because you guys want this on the hush-hush. And then, of course, the day after they asked, it was leaked out on the internet. So this has been out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So my question to you, sir, is, are you a fan of the original comic? Are you a fan of the film adaptation? And are you interested in Warner's Animation doing Watchmen as what we suppose would be done correctly?
I remember the book coming out back in the 80s and thinking, I can't bring myself to care, and I'm buying like 30 other books at the time, and I don't have the budget for it. So I will admit that I ignored the book originally. Then the movie came out, and I saw it, and I thought, this was really good, but it got really depressing at the end of it.
Yes.
Didn't care for that part. So, the animated version, if it's done by the same people who are doing the other DC animated shows, because those are awesome,
right,
then I'm probably going to like this, even if it continues to have the depressing ending, which I know it's going to.
Has to.
It has to.
That's the book. Yeah.
And then Black Lightning will make a cameo, even though he's not supposed to be in it. I'm kidding. I think it has the potential for being really good. So, yeah, why not? Go ahead, do it, and let's see what you can do with this. I think it has the potential for being very good. So there.
Yeah, I do too. And this is not one of these gratuitous things where, well, we'll make it R-rated because that'll make it edgy. It's like, if they're going to do it right, it has to be R-rated. Because if you're going to make Deadpool right, it had to be rated R. Watchmen, if you're going to do it right, has to be rated R because it's violent.
Graphic.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't imagine. Yeah, put the graphic in graphic novel. Well said. I can't imagine them not doing a good job of it because, like you said, why would they not involve the people they usually involve? Because their worst animated things are good, and their best are brilliant. And they've done several brilliant. One I never mentioned before is The New Frontier. I love The New Frontier. I wish they would make a movie of that. I mean, my God, the fact that they have such a hard time coming up with good plots for their live action division, and they've got, I don't know, millions of good plots and dozens that they've already adapted for animation. I just don't get it. So I have no idea, can't remember when they are even talking about if it would come out, but this is something I'm really looking forward to because this could be brilliant. And actually, I would hope that they would do kind of a mini series because that's really what they should do. That would be amazing. So, much better note. Really not. Much better note than what we were going to end on. We like better notes.
Yes.
B flat, that's an awesome note, but not quite.
So what kind of awesome notes do you have coming up this week?
Awesome notes. Tuesday evening, Lee will be on with his 12th Man Rising Seahawks show. Wednesday night, Ted will be on with his Late Night Parents. This is on the Happy Hour Network. And I believe Ted will probably be live on local radio out there in Long Island tonight at 7, as he usually is on Sundays. And just go to latenightparent.com and you'll be able to find it that. You have.
Yep. This week, another episode of The Flot Show on Friday, and Wednesday, another episode of the 2 Pages Project. And if you've ever written a short story and thought, no, I'll never be able to get this published, you're wrong. Send it to me. I'll publish it for you. I'll turn it into an audiobook for this podcast. It's a fun process. Send me stories. It's a fun thing. Give it a listen. You can find both of those on the Coil Entertainment Network website, coil.us, COYL. Fun shows. Give them a listen. So there.
Very fun shows. Very fun shows indeed. And with that,
Ooh, is that closing credit music I hear?
Maybe.
Ariel! Hoopa! Ride!
Do you think they will let me live in Montana?
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Man, we have a weird job.
It's shameful, but it's a living.
Darn, that's